that I've got for our two speakers so far. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker, who is Manon van Kampen. Manon is an occupational therapist from the Netherlands. She also works at Atlant, and she sees the patients with HD there in their outpatient clinic and in their daycare center and their nursing home. She's currently completing her research into the effect of passivity in daily living, which is a core multidisciplinary method that is used in the Netherlands. And her research is focusing specifically on the PDL care method in the late stage of HD. So, Manon.
To put it up a bit. Well, let's see. First of all, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to share our experiences in how we try to manage the transition from independence to dependence with our patients, I think, and that are the key words. We try with our patients. Nobody wants to be dependent. Everybody wants to drink, eat, drink, and manage their own life. They really want to make their own choices. And I think the most important thing, everybody wants to make the most out of it in life. I really want to introduce to you with Marvin. I know Marvin for several years now. He is a young guy of 25 years old who lives several years already in our nursing home. And I love to make... Oh, I'm going too fast. It's a short movie, so... Okay, look to the right. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Yeah, it are only a few seconds, but I really think that we all know and feel how many challenges are in this short movie, in the transition and getting most of it out of life, but also being independent. So a foot says more than many words, I think. So which factors influence the sense of independency of Marvin? Marvin is aware of his situation. He's a young guy. He knows he has a progressive disease and he understands quite well what it means for his life. This is a burden for him. He is regularly overtaken by the capriciousness of his disease, and he often doesn't have the time to get used to increased limitations in his daily living. He doesn't assess his limitations very adequately. I think we all recognize that can be a problem for both parties, for care and for Marvin. And he can partially estimate consequences of his choices he makes, what leads to physical and cognitive overload. So people, and also in his experience, and I think this is also such an important one to consider every time in your head when we think something has to happen, but if the person, in this case Marvin, he find it annoying that everybody meddles with him and tells him what to do and think they know it better, but he has no problem. So how are we going to handle that one? So lately Marvin has been given in normal activities such as eating, sitting, gaming, for him very important, walking and doing chores are too much. Daily life depends too much, what results in physical and cognitive overload and a worsening of, for example, his career. He can't enjoy life to the fullest anymore. I have a couple. Our conclusion as an MDT team, Marvin's residual energy got very limited and very fast. Because of his medical situation, changes were needed in how he manages his daily life to maintain independence. And now a small task for you. Eating is too tiring for Marvin right now. He can't do it anymore. We think he is better. I will talk about it even more. But for you, what do you think? If something is tiring, if eating is too tiring for Marvin, what do you think? Shall we advise him and discuss with him that an adapted spoon is the best answer, although this doesn't cover the problem completely. Eating is still too hard, but it takes all his energy and he doesn't get enough, but he really, really, really wants to eat on his own. Or are we going to be direct and we say, well, Marvin, we think we have to take it over and help you with eating, although, yeah, he wants to eat on his own. What do you think? Please stand up for the green one, sit down for the red one. Thank you so much for the very divided room, of course. That was, yeah. I think this says something about how key essential it is to work in a multidisciplinary team, because only together we can really focus and analyze what are the nuances, what's the best way, even there is no best way. So what can we do? I think we can be his guides on an inevitable and capricious path. We can help him to stay independent by guiding him when he gets more independent of others. I think it's an ongoing quest where I think in finding balance in what is possible and what requires too much of his body and cognitive functions. And I think it's also a quest to give him the guidance, because in how he can adapt in a more dependent way of living, although he really wants to stay independent. So how can we guide? I know we all like practical stuff, so here are some practical tips, maybe. The first one is the most important. I've heard it already this weekend many times, that I think invest in the contact, know each other. Because if you know each other, and I know Marvin for several years right now, so I can discuss with him, I can discuss situations with him, juggle with each other. Sometimes say, when I do this, then you do that, and then I give him time, and then, so it's an ongoing, yeah, give and take, yeah. So invest in the contact, because you're more likely to accept or try something from each other on the basis of trust, although you're not convinced something is a problem. I think that's also a typical HD thing. We try to be his guide with the whole MDT team, as I just informed you. And always set the goal on staying as independent as possible, although he's getting more dependent. Also important, be honest in what you observe and educate about the crossroads long before they are there, the crossroads out there. It gives Marvin, in this case, the time to get used to changing situations and think about it for a time. And after time, he is also able to make his own decisions because he got the time to think about it. Let him make his choices. Let him talk about it with each other. Let him keep control in all the little things. All the little things are important and matter. And if the choice, despite all efforts, despite all our efforts every day, and he chooses a not preferred choice of the MDT team or system, accept it, this is it, go on and try it again a few weeks later, and have another discussion, and accept it again, and try it again, and again, and again. I think this is an important part of my work also. Focus on what is the residual capacity, and I mean by that one, focus on what is the energy of somebody. I think we tend to ask more than often is possible because of lower energy possibilities. And focus on what activities he wishes to use it on. Put a less focus on the ability to do everything functional things, like walking around, eating or washing, and focus more on what small things he really wants to do and help him and guide him in make some choices. It's all about the PDL care method, but I can talk about it for hours, but I don't have that time, so next time maybe. Be aware of the many environmental stimuli and downsize them. And when you see somebody is struggling in daily activities, although they really want to do it on their own, sometimes it's just okay to be there for him. Talk about it. Talk about what you see and that it is a hard thing. And sometimes also take the initiative to take over. Often you see relief, and often you see that quality of life will get better again. So, how's Marvin doing right now? After we weigh every day life of the week. Sometimes we weigh it every part of the day, sometimes every hour. What's possible for today, and be honest in what's not, and what is possible. Take over some daily functional activities before it becomes a real functional problem. In my experience, this leads to less chorea and cognitive overload and gives more quality of life. It's also PDL. We help him now with dinner. So we discussed it. I think it would be better that we take over, that our nurses take eating over. And he said no, and I said, okay, well, let's do it with dinner, because I see that it's a hard thing to, it's the most, eating is the most difficult for you at dinner. So now with dinner we have taken it over, but breakfast and lunch he does it on his own. Maybe not the way we hoped it to be, but hey, this is it. You win some, you lose some, for us, yeah. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Get him used to, he stopped walking, so we advised him, functional you can walk, but hey, let's stop. How did we do that one? Now, we got him used to the idea of, for example, an electric wheelchair before it became a problem. So I started with him with an electric wheelchair for many years ago when he was walking around. We started it for fun. He liked to race, so I saw an opportunity to give him an electric wheelchair and race around in our institution. And we had fun. And also he had still the cognitive skills to learn it, so that's also an important one. And now he's used to the idea of an electric wheelchair, so when his energy got a problem, and not his functions, but his energy got the problem, it was the problem of completing the day and get everything out of the day. We discussed it with him and we said maybe it's better for you that you stop walking and use a wheelchair like all day. And we gave him some time, and after a few weeks we discussed it again, and it's an ongoing process with little steps, and now he's using it. And also accept with each other that there are days when he chooses to go over his boundaries. Let him enjoy these moments. Let us enjoy these moments with each other. And we also know that when you go over boundaries, you need some time to recover. And give him that time to recover. It's all okay. next one. Here, this. Am I out of time? Oh, sorry. Can you play the movie? Then I'm done. I love to talk about my work, so I can go on for hours, but. This is Marvin after we all. He stopped walking, but he really enjoys going to the exercise therapist. So if he wants to, it's his choice. It doesn't matter. Keep his choice and let him enjoy life. Thank you for your attention.